Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Ease Into Your Day. I'm saying that because it's morning here, but this practice could just as easily be done in the evening if you're winding down from your day. So you can see I'm actually sitting up on a bolster, and I have 2 blocks along with my yoga mat. So if you need to get those things, should you happen to have them, that would be great. They're going to make your practice a little more comfortable. So you can pause the video while you go get that stuff. And then once your equipment is arranged, I want you to sit in a comfortable cross-legged position, whatever that looks like for you. If it's difficult to sit cross-legged, even up on a bolster, you might want to use your blocks underneath the knees to give your hips just a little bit more support so that your back can be free, the spine can be long, and your breathing can be soft and easy. And then close down your eyes, taking a moment to connect to your breath. And then just acknowledging whatever it is you brought with you to your mat at this time. Whether you're just getting up and getting your day started, maybe your body feels a little stiff. Maybe not. Maybe you've been up for hours. It's the end of your day, acknowledging whatever it is. Something happened at work, or it could be something small or something big. Just acknowledge whatever it is that you're experiencing physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Your body wants to be heard. Your soul wants to be heard. So just acknowledging these things, taking a few moments. And then if your eyes are still closed, actually keep them closed, and then join your hands together in front of the heart center. And I'd like to begin by chanting the Om together 3 times. So we chant the Om to acknowledge that we are sitting and we are about to begin our practice. But there's also a physiological benefit to chanting. It tones the vagus nerve, which is sort of the captain of the ship. We can go into more detail about the vagus nerve in another video if you like. But for now, if you're going to join me, inhale your breath now. Keeping your hands together in prayer position. Begin to rub the hands together. Keep your eyes closed. I'm going to warm up those hands. So rubbing them together as fast as you're able to until you feel your hands getting hot. And then just place your hands very lightly over your eyes. And then with your hands still covering your eyes, open your eyes. Blink a couple of times and then bring your hands back down onto your legs. Okay, so we're going to start right here in the seated position. Arrange your blocks to be one on either side so you can reach them easily. And we're going to inhale that left arm straight up toward the ceiling. Reaching straight up. Feel the stretch from the hip all the way up to the tips of the fingers. Letting your right hand rest lightly on your block. Take a couple of breaths here. And then with your next convenient exhalation, we're going to bend over to the right. Pressing into the block now to help open the chest a little toward the ceiling or a lot. And then inhale to come back up, reach straight back up toward the ceiling, and then exhale your arm down, placing now your left hand lightly on your block. Inhale the right arm up, reaching straight up toward the ceiling, stretching from that right hip all the way through the tips of the fingers. Be mindful of what you're doing with your hand. Try to keep your wrist stable. And then with your next convenient exhalation, let's bend over to the left, maybe pressing into the block to open the chest toward the ceiling. Good, inhale, straight back up toward the ceiling, reach, 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 and exhale your arm back down, placing your hands lightly on the blocks. Inhale your breath here, lifting the front of the spine, and exhale as you walk your hands forward. So you might be able to come quite far down, and maybe this is far enough. Pressing your sit bones back towards the wall behind you. Maybe there's room for you to walk your hands a little bit further forward. And at some point you want to let your head come down. You're not tucking your chin in. You want to lengthen the cervical spine. Pressing into the floor, reaching back through the sit bones. Good, and then walk your hands back in towards your legs. Inhale your breath. And on the exhale, take your left hand to the outside of your right knee. And now you might want to take your block around behind you so that your hand can touch something. Press down into your block or the floor if you're sitting on the floor. Lift your chest as you inhale. And then twist to your right as you exhale. Maybe you're only twisting a little. And if twisting isn't good for your spine, maybe all you're doing is taking your hand to your knee, keeping your spine long, and just giving a little bit of movement here. Then inhale to come back to the center. Bring your block back. And exhale. Now taking your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Take your block around behind you if you're using a block. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Take a few breaths here. Good, and then inhale to come back to the center. We're going to repeat that whole process by changing the crossing of the legs. So now bring your other leg in front or your other leg on top. Inhaling the left arm up, reaching straight up toward the ceiling. Exhaling over to the side, rolling the chest open toward the ceiling. Good, bring your chest back to neutral, bring your arm back up and then back down. Inhaling to the other side, reaching straight up first and then coming over. As you exhale, rolling the chest open. Bringing it back to neutral and reaching straight back up and let the arm down. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale and fold forward. Pressing the sit bones back. Your hips are going to feel different on this side because of the changing of the cross of the legs. Walking your hands forward and letting your head come into a more neutral position so you're not trying to see where you're going. Looking down towards the floor. Maybe you can walk your hands a little bit further forward. Good, and then bring your hands back in. Inhale, lift the front of the spine. Exhale, twisting to your right. Inhaling back to the center and exhaling as you twist to your left. Maybe you can twist a little further now. Good, inhaling back to the center. Okay, we're going to come onto the hands and the knees. Please remember, if you need padding for the knees, you should have an extra blanket or a mat, extra mat. A towel will do. If you don't have yoga equipment, which I highly recommend, if you would like an equipment list, I'd be happy to send you one. Basic equipment most yogis should have in their repertoire. So having your wrists directly underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips, and hip distance apart. Feet are also hip distance apart. Inhale the eyes and the sit bones towards the ceiling. If you have difficulty with your neck this morning, maybe keep your head looking straight forward, your eyes looking straight forward. Exhale as you round the back, looking back towards the knees. Inhale to reverse. Exhale to reverse. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bring your spine back to neutral. Inhale your breath, tuck your toes under, and exhale to lift the knees off the mat, coming into your downward facing dog. If you need to modify downward facing dog, you want to bring your knees back down to the mat, keep your toes tucked under, walk your hands forward, and let your head come down as you reach out through the fingertips, lengthening the spine. Long, deep inhalations, long, slow exhalations, deep cleansing breaths. Good, and with your next inhalation, bring your knees back to the mat. And with your next exhalation, slide your right arm underneath the left arm, taking the side of your head and shoulder to the mat, as if you were trying to get something out from underneath the bed. Stay connected to your breath. And then inhale, coming back to the center, and exhaling on over to the left side. Good. Inhale to come back to the center. And exhale, coming back to downward facing dog. This time we're going to bring the emphasis a little bit more into the legs. So bending your right knee, pressing your left heel down, bending the left knee, pressing the right heel down, luxuriating in that calf stretch. One more time on each side. And then bend both knees for me, please, lifting your sit bones toward the ceiling. Reach out through the fingertips. And then see if you can press both heels back down towards the mat. Good, so we're going to come to mountain pose next. So either walk your feet into your hands, or you can bring your knees down, come all the way up onto your knees, and step forward to end in mountain pose. Tadasana, with your feet slightly separated, an inch or two. Pressing down into the feet, spread the toes, pin the shoulder blades onto the back. And then inhale to reach up toward the ceiling, look up at your hands. And exhale, bring your arms back to your sides, bring your head back to neutral. Inhale, reaching up and looking up. And exhale, bring the arms back down. One more time, just the arms and the breath. And then coming once again to mountain pose. So from here, we're going to move into triangle pose. So step your feet wide apart. So you want to get your blocks ready if you're using blocks. So some of us need to stack our blocks. So So you can make a little tower like that with your blocks. Feet wide apart, turning the right leg out. Lift the chest, extend the arms out over the legs. And as you come over, exhale and bring your hand to your blocks, to the floor. If you don't have blocks, you could place your hand on your shin. I'm not a big fan of that, but if that's all you have to work with, then use it. Long, deep inhalations. Long, slow exhalations. Good, and then inhale to come up. Turn that right foot forward and let's go to the other side. Turning the left leg out, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, coming over to the left. Stay connected to your breath. Good, and then inhale to come back up. Exhale as you turn your left foot forward and let your arms come to your sides. We're going to come to a wide-legged forward bend. Bring your blocks around to the front. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale as you fold forward, placing your hands onto your blocks. If you have the range of motion for going all the way to the floor, then go ahead and do that. Being mindful that we're keeping the spine in neutral. And all that means is we're not tucking the tailbone under, we're not overly lifting it. We're pressing into the feet and legs, lengthen the spine. And if you can, take the top of your head towards the floor. Maybe place your head on one of your blocks. Good, and then straighten the arms, look forward. Bring your hands to your hips, use your legs, not your back, to come up. And then if you can, please heel toe your feet back together. And meet me back at the front end of the mat in mountain pose. And then inhale, reach up toward the ceiling. Exhale to swan dive into forward bend. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to bend your knees, and we're going to step way back with that left foot. Bring your left knee to the mat. Maybe adjust the position of your right foot so that it's not too far out in front of you. Coming up to a kneeling position on that left knee. Again, taking a blanket under your knee if you need to. Inhale to reach up toward the ceiling. Exhale as you press that right knee forward and down, reaching out of the waist. So if you have a shoulder issue and reaching up is difficult or painful, bring your hands into prayer position. Still lift the sternum, still lift the chest, still open the heart. Good, inhale to come back. Exhale your arms down. And whatever way is the best for you to come to standing, please do that. Now coming back to half forward bend, so your spine is long, you're looking forward. And then bend your knees again and step way back now with the right foot, letting your right knee come to the mat. Inhale to reach up toward the ceiling, or join your hands in prayer. Exhale to let that left knee come forward as your hips come down. Keep reaching up out of the waist. Open the chest, open the heart. Good, inhale. Bring that knee back. Exhale the arms down. Bring your left knee back underneath the hip and come to child's pose, either with the knees together or knees wide apart. Good, coming back up onto your knees. Bring your knees back under your hips if they were wide, and then bring your legs around and have a seat in staff pose for me. Please, reaching out through your heels. Draw the flesh of the buttocks straight back and press your hands into the mat on either side of the hips, lifting and opening the chest. Good, and from here we're going to come into a modified boat pose, so bend your knees. Try to have your feet flat on the mat and have them hip distance apart. Place your hands on the head of the knee, lift your chest, and lean back. Keep holding onto the knees. Now you can make this a stronger pose if you want to release your hands or you want to pick your feet up. You feel free to do that. But remember, even in this modified version, you're still working all of the muscles that are required to be in full boat pose. Stay connected to your breath. Good, and then release. Straighten your legs, and then come to lie on your back. Have your knees bent, feet flat on the floor in constructive resting pose. And we're going to move into bridge pose from here. So make sure your feet are under your knees and hip distance apart. Arms at your sides on the mat. Inhale your breath. And exhale as you press down into the feet to lift the hips, lower, middle, and upper back off the mat. Good, and then slowly lower the spine back to the mat. We're going to come to reclining pigeon pose here. So taking the left ankle to the right knee. Pick your right foot up off the floor. Thread your left arm through the opening your legs make and hold on to that knee with both hands. If you can't reach the knee this way, you can hold behind the thigh. If that's not possible for you, you can leave your right foot on the floor and place your left hand on your left knee to press the knee away. Otherwise, flex your feet and then draw that right knee in closer to the chest. Long, deep inhalations. Long, slow, cleansing exhalations. Good, release. Place your right foot back onto the mat. Place your left foot onto the mat. And let's bring the right ankle to the left knee to go do that on the other side. Picking the left foot up. Thread the right arm through. Hold on to the knee with both hands. Flex your feet. And draw that left knee in closer to the chest. Good, and release, placing both feet back down onto the mat. We're going to straighten that left leg. And then draw the right knee in towards the chest. Hold on to the right knee with the left hand and bring your right arm out to your right, shoulder level. Inhale your breath here and exhale to draw the right knee across the body, rolling over onto your left hip. Let your right foot come to the floor, even if your knee does not. You can keep your head in a neutral position, looking up at the ceiling. Or you can turn your head to look towards your right hand. Turning your head is going to make this a more of an intense twist, so that's up to you. Good, inhale to bring that knee back up. And we're going to switch legs, straightening the right leg, bring the left knee in, hold the left knee with the right hand, left arm out to the side, inhale your breath. Exhaling over to the right now. So if your bolster happens to be right there, it's nice to put your knee on the bolster. Good, inhale to bring that knee back up. Placing your left foot back on the mat, bring both feet under the knees so that you're in constructive resting pose. Be in constructive resting pose for a moment. And then we're going to bring both knees in towards the chest. You can rock a little from side to side here, holding onto your knees. Or you can come to happy baby by catching hold of the pinky toe sides of the feet, drawing the knees towards the floor on either side of the torso, and maybe rocking a little from side to side. You decide which one of those two things is going to feel best on your back. Good. And when you've had enough of that, bring your feet back to the mat. Stretch your legs out for Shavasana, the final pose. Shavasana is overlooked a lot in its importance in your yoga practice. So you want to extend out through the heels and then let your feet drop away from each other. Bring your arms to your sides, palms facing up toward the ceiling if that's comfortable for you. Close down your eyes. And just notice if there's any little last traces of holding anywhere in the legs or the shoulders, the jaw. See if you can let that go. Let your attention come back to rest on the breath. And once again, just notice the condition of your physical experience, state of your mind, condition of your emotions in this moment, without judgment. And now let your next inhalation be just a little deeper. Your next exhalation a little longer. Slowly start to bring some movement back to the fingers and toes. Bend your knees and roll all the way over onto your right side. Whenever you feel ready, make your way back up to sitting. Coming once again to a comfortable cross-legged position. Good, and then join your hands in front of the heart center. And I'd like to close our session by chanting the Om together one time, followed by the Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Have a wonderful day, everyone, or a good night's sleep, whatever it is you're going to be doing next. See you next time.